During his 5-year run, Tom King left many people wondering, what have you done to Batman? However, I think his war of jokes and riddles is one of the most underappreciated Batman stories in recent memory, and I think it deserves your attention. I'll tell you how. No, not how. I'll tell you why. You know what I meant. Welcome back to the 905, the channel where we talk about comics, collectibles, and whatever. My name is Rob. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe down below. Also, maybe the thumbs up. Apparently, thumbs up are way better than thumbs down. And the notification bell. New videos drop every Tuesday and Thursday. So if this is your first time here, hey, welcome. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. So I wasn't joking before when I said that Tom King's run on Batman is polarizing. It's very divisive. You either love it or you hate it. There's very few people who are kind of in the middle of the road when it comes to Tom King. And I would actually probably put that towards most of his body of work these last 6 years. Coming off of what most feel is probably one of the best runs of Batman, which was Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo in the New 52 run, Tom King took over the Batman duties in 2016. I just said duty. Took over the Batman writing duties in... I said duties again. Took over the Batman writing duties in 2016. I said it for the third time. Tom King took over writing Batman in 2016 with DC's Rebirth, and he only got to about issue 85 before his run was cut short for reasons. I'll be honest with you, I did not appreciate or like his 6-issue Heroes in Crisis run. It wasn't my thing. But I did actually kind of like his Batman run because it was so different than what we got with Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. That being said, there's a whole bunch of storylines that I would recommend out of the Tom King run, maybe some more than others. I Am Suicide was a good run. The City of Bane was good, a little bit uneven at times. For me, though, my favorite portion of his entire run was this right here, the War of Jokes and Riddles. It collected... this is the trade paperback that came out a number of years ago. It collects issues 25 to 32. This story takes place way back in Batman's past. It's not a year one type of a story. It's not a retelling of his origin, but it is just, I guess, a reimagining of his early days, or at least an untold story of his early days. It essentially is a gang war story, where on one side you have the Joker, and on the other side you have the Riddler. Whether you are a Batman fan or not, I really believe, first of all, that this is an underappreciated Batman storyline, but it's just a really good story overall, and includes a little bit of an origin story here of Kite Man. Hell yeah. I'll tell you what, let's turn the camera around and actually look at the pages of this book, and I'll explain to you why I think this book deserves your attention. Hopefully you can see this okay. I've had to turn off the light to avoid the glare. So the art is by Michael Janin, or maybe it's Mikhail Janin. I'm not really sure how best to pronounce it. And Clay Mann. But honestly, I mean, I really, really appreciate Michael Janin's art and his portrayal, the realism in the faces of the Joker and the Riddler. Now, I point out this face here, this gruff-looking face of Batman. So I actually sent a tweet out to Michael, and I said, "Hey, did you take inspiration from Michael Keaton's snarly face in the 89 or 92 Tim Burton movies?" And he responded, as you can see on the screen, and he was like, "No, I didn't, but it's kind of neat that somebody had referenced that." So the whole idea about this, as I said before, is a bit of a gangland style story. We're pitting the Joker up against the Riddler over control of Gotham City. Who is the kingpin? Who is the boss of Gotham? And this is, again, very early days of Batman. He is Batman, but he's not the Batman. He doesn't have the years of experience behind him that we've become accustomed to. And interestingly enough, actually, this story is told, Batman is explaining this story to Catwoman and explaining, I never told you about this adventure or this one problem I had way back when I first started out. So it's pretty cool. Look at this. Look at this page. You got the Riddler coming into an office. Just the detail in the art is just astounding. And obviously, Riddler is asking, knock, knock, and it's only going to be answered by the Joker, who says, "Who's there?" Because how else do you respond to a knock, knock joke? The thing about Michael Janon's art is that it's just so fluid, right? He tells a story in this splash page, but it's the conversation moves along through the story as do the characters. It's not that it hasn't been done before, but I just don't think it's been done so well. Hero pose. That's how I stand before I go to bed every night. As I said before, this is kind of a story about where you have the Joker's amassing his army, his soldiers, to take control of his parts of Gotham. So you can see how he has his army, his squadron, facing off against Joker and his army and his portion of Gotham. And this really is a mob war. One of the really cool aspects of this entire war of jokes and riddles, there were like these two interludes, and they were titled The Ballad of Kite Man. It was kind of like a history or an origin story of Kite Man. And honestly, Kite Man's a Z-list character or a Z-list character. It's not somebody that you would ever consider and think about. And yet by the end of the arc and the end of this story with Kite Man, you almost can't help but say, man, I want to see more Kite Man. Tom King writes such a compelling loser, right? It's really what he is. But man, he was so good. So I don't want to spoil too much for you because I want you to be able to enjoy the story if you pick it up, which I highly recommend, obviously. But I got to highlight a couple things. Look at this splash page. Look, you've got Deathstroke versus Deadshot. And we talked about the fluidity of Michael Janon's artwork and telling a story through these motions, these forward motions. How gorgeous does that look? And unfortunately, we probably won't be able to get a great shot of this one because of the gutter loss in here. But essentially, Batman realizes that he can't figure a way to resolve this conflict. So he decides Bruce Wayne might have a better option and he invites both the Joker and Riddler to dinner at Wayne Manor. And well, I'm not going to spoil it. You got to read it for yourself. Needless to say, this is not necessarily a Batman story in so much as it's a story about all three of them. While Batman's telling it, you get into the mind of the Joker. During this portion, Joker is trying to find out, what is his motivation for what he's doing. He has essentially lost his smile, and the Riddler sees an opportunity to take over Gotham. I don't want to get into too much spoiler stuff, so I'm just going to kind of finish it off with the variant covers that are in the back of the trade, because some people really enjoy these variant covers. There's quite a bit of variant covers by Tim Sale, Tony S. Daniel, who does a really great Batman. I think he had picked up the mantle of Batman, and maybe it was through Detective Comics after issue 1000. Some more Tim Sale covers. Just crazy. Look at that. Can you imagine how long it would take you to brush those teeth? Good Lord. Whether or not you are a fan of Tom King's Batman run, I think we can all agree that as comic readers, as comic fans, all we ask for is to be entertained. Show us a good story. Let us jump into the world that you're creating, whether you're the writer or the artist. We just want to be entertained. That's all we ask. And I think that this nails it on every level. The War of Jokes and Riddles is an entertaining read. It is fun. It is gripping at times. It really is like one of those trades that you will grab and you won't put down unless you've got to go to the bathroom. But then some people actually take it to the bathroom. I'm not naming names. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But this is a run that you can take and you can read it front to back and you will love it and you will read it again. So I highly recommend contacting your LCS, asking them to get you a copy of its Volume 4 of DC Rebirth, of Batman's DC Rebirth, The War of Jokes and Riddles. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below if you've grabbed it after watching this. Hey, cool. If you've read it beforehand, let me know what your thoughts are, positive or negative. If you like this video, let me know as well. And do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And until next time, stay safe. Gummy worms. Do you ever wonder what the person who invented gummy worms was thinking at the time? Were they like, hey, do you think kids would like to eat candy worms? Because if so, they were right. Man, I love gummy worms. Way better than gummy bears. Let's be honest.